Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We are back with some more Minecraft conservation. I am very excited for today's episode. Last time we went mining, we got some diamonds, all good stuff, all good stuff. But today, we are going to talk about something, and we are going to talk about wolves. I have my handy-dandy notebook here with all my information I want to go over, and there's a lot I want to go over today. It's 4 pages, and it is wet at the bottom because it was pouring today, and it was in my backpack, and it got a little wet, so that's unfortunate, but we will manage. So yeah, like I said, tons to go over today, and I am really looking forward to it. I think wolves are very cool, and to go with, talking about wolves, we gotta go tame a wolf, right? I mean, that's just what you gotta do. We have key cats. Now we just need a wolf, a pet dog. Um, but yeah, let's see. So I guess we'll need bones. 58 should be enough. And I guess we'll just, ooh, our chest plate is very low. I'll make one to bring just in case we come across anything deadly. But yeah, so I guess I'll just get started with sort of the basics of wolves. Wolves are, what everyone thinks of as dogs' ancestors, and that's true to some degree. So they're in family Canidae, and Canidae also includes wolves, foxes, that sort of thing. It also includes the maned wolf, which, despite its name, is not a fox or a wolf. But yeah, so like I said, we'll be focusing on wolves. We'll probably revisit Canidae again when we talk about foxes, red foxes, gray foxes, all sorts of foxes. Dude, what are you doing over here? Why are you... Oh, there's a key cat. Would you look at that? Okay. Also, I'm just looking around here because dogs are usually in spruce forests and stuff. But yeah, so we'll just head in a direction. We usually go that way where all our things are. So I just want to... Ooh, bear. We will mention grizzly bears today, but we will get to that. So yeah, so there's 3 species of wolves, and there's tons of subspecies, like 30 plus subspecies of wolf. Um, and wolves are really interesting. Oh, it's raining. Wow, perfect timing, I guess. Not really, actually. That's very imperfect timing. So yeah, like I was saying, 3 species, and the most notable one, and is actually one of the most widespread mammals across the entire world, is the gray wolf. That's the most common one. That's the Yellowstone one. Um, and what's that over there? Oh, it's a sheep. Yeah, so if I look over here a lot, I'm just looking over here at my notes. And the subspecies and even the species themselves, they're highly debated, right? There's a lot of debate whether like what's actually, what's its own species versus what's a subspecies, and two of the other the wolf species I'm going to mention today are sort of like that. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm getting ahead of myself. So yeah, like I said, you have the gray wolf, and it's very well pelaged. Can come in lots of. If it's turning nighttime, I think it is. Yes. Come in lots of different colors. Everyone sort of has the idea. It's kind of got a big rostrum, relatively short ears. Um, yeah, and it's really powerful, so their bite force is really strong. Other random things I have written down because the class I was taking, we focused on skeletal morphology, so just like what their skull looked like. So that's where I got some of my notes. 2 upper molars, 3 lower molars, and their upper canines are bigger than 12 millimeters. So that's pretty hefty. Definitely don't want to get bit by that. We're not going up there because I refuse to fall in powdered snow. So yeah, that's the sort of basic things. Um, yeah, and so they actually have a larger brain to body size compared to domestic dogs. So that means they just have, bigger brains. Wolves might be smarter than dogs. I wouldn't be surprised. Some dogs are real dumb, real dumb. They have about 2 brain cells. I mean, my poor puppers, Cleo. If you don't know who Cleo is, go watch my first video. Um, she has all of 2 brain cells. So yeah, I'm not surprised that the typical average wolf is smarter than a dog. And I want to make clear, wolves are not dogs. Do not go and try to befriend a wolf. Please do not do that. That is terrible. It gives wolves a bad name, and they are not dogs. Not even close in a lot of ways. Some of them might look the same, but they are not dogs. Dogs were specifically bred with more passive traits in mind, so you might get eaten if. Actually, no, that's kind of not true. But still, don't try and don't put yourself in that situation. I know you see those people on TikTok and whatever. I'm not on TikTok. I don't like TikTok. They're like, oh, I discovered this puppers on the side of the road, and then it just kept growing, and it turns out to be a wolf. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Um, yeah, no, it's bad for the wolf. It's bad for the people. Bad all around. So please don't do that. But let's see what else we got here. Yeah, and so I'm sure a lot of people know that they have very complex social systems. So you usually have an alpha male and female. That's sort of been debated a little bit, the whole like alpha-ness to things. I don't know how true that is. I wasn't able to find a whole lot about it, but there is a leader of the pack, male and female, um, and they sort of take charge of things. I mean, you even see, and they have. It's really interesting because unlike a lot of like sort of other groups, the alpha protects everybody, right? So he or she, they will protect the elderly, usually the males in the back actually. So like when they're traveling together, he stays in the back with the elderly, with the young, to try and protect them instead of, leaving them for dead, which I think is really awesome. So they really value, their families, and it's really cool. It's really cool. And yeah, so what's really interesting is they can do some. Oh, hey, Waystone. All right, cool. Random mountain, Crystal Martron. Ooh, Crystal. I like that name. It's one that I could actually somewhat pronounce. So they can do reproductive suppression, which, if you don't know what that is, it's just they can control basically who has babies and who doesn't through behavioral, through her. Why can't I say the word hormonal? There we go, like means it's this is beneficial. So like if there's like say there's limited resources, right? There's not as many resources as there were in previous years, right? Instead of just having an abundance of babies that they can't feed, they'll be like, nah, you don't get to breed today. um yeah, and it also keeps the pack stable. So like again, complex social systems, there's a lot that goes into it. Very, very important. Yeah, and so what I actually found really interesting, and one of the most interesting things, is so when pups are born, the way they play, determines. Have we been over here? No, I'm thinking of that mountain. Okay, I was like, this looks really familiar from when we did like that first little bit of mining. So yeah, so the pup interaction, so when they're playing and things like that, roughhousing, that determines their rank within the first month. So within the first month that they're born, they can barely do anything, but they're playing, they're hanging out, and that determines their rank. So, that's really interesting. I mean, they don't really get a chance. And then usually, um, yeah, and then so usually they're also habitat generalists, which just means they're not exactly picky when it comes to their habitat. Like most wild animals, they don't exactly, like people. If they can be in a remote area, they definitely will. That's their sort of go-to. Um, and then, yeah, so that's all I really have for the gray wolves. We'll go into gray wolves earlier. I mean, I did mention Yellowstone. You're probably like, how can you mention the gray wolf but not go into Yellowstone? But we will. Don't you worry. So the next species, and this one's, I will warn you, is a little bit sad, is the red wolf. So for the longest time, this one was debated, as I was talking about, of if it's really a wolf species or if it's some sort of hybrid between a wolf and like a coyote or something like that. And we will go over coyotes too, even though we will not be taming a coyote, and a coyote is not a wolf. Still the same family, still the same sort of genera type deal. Actually, they are the same genera. But yeah, so the red wolf, um, it's as it's, sort of implies. Man, I am not really finding any wolves. I really wasn't expecting this to take that long because I was worried. I was like, I have a lot to go over, but I'm sure we'll find a wolf pretty fast. And like, what will I do for the rest of the video while I talk about wolves? Um, but yeah, we're really not finding anything. Hmm. Alright, alright. I feel like we've seen some at some point. I definitely want to say it was spruce. I mean, that's sort of my go-to. Um, but yeah, anyway, so the red wolf. Debated if it was a species. It is a species. It is recognized as its own species, one of the three wolf species that is typically recognized. And so they're more red in color. That's the name, the red wolf. Um, Yeah, so they're smaller than the gray wolf. They're an intermediate size, somewhere between like raccoon. I thought about doing a raccoon episode, and we definitely will at some point. I think that's from Alex's Mobs, the mod, and I was like, I want to do something interesting with them because I don't really know what you can do with them, if anything. And since I want to promote like healthy like conservation tactics, obviously like taming one and bringing it home is not exactly what I want to promote. Actually, for that episode that I was sort of like running through ideas with, I was like, I specifically want to mention making sure like people don't take raccoons as pets because that's another popular TikTok trend. I really don't have anything personal against TikTok. I just don't use it. Did I bring my boat? And actually, you know what's another good question? Do I have more food? I don't. Well, better hope we come across Waystone. Otherwise, it's gonna be very unfortunate. Anyways, yeah, Red Wolf. So they are like the size and shape of them. It's considered distinct from other the gray wolf, um, and other wolf species like the wolf and the coyote. So that's how they sort of determined that it was its own species. And yeah, so before the 1900s, like mid 1900s, they occupied most of the southeastern United States. So like basically like I don't know. It's in case anyone's not from the United States, that's just the southeastern part. I don't have the exact ranges. I'm also gonna kill some of these because I want to have food just in case things go terribly, terribly wrong. Um, yeah. So and they actually what makes them interesting is they kind of lived in like swamplands, and yeah, swamps and bottomland river forest of the southeast, which adds up. Florida is basically a swamp. So yeah, they occupied that whole area. And this is a pretty mountain. And yeah, so before they were basically hunted and killed to extreme numbers, extreme, extreme. I'm gonna tell you how many is are left in a minute, and I encourage you to guess how many because it is quite sad. Um, So yeah, so they ate a lot of rodents, rabbits, and nutria. And if you don't know, hey, we're talking about your family, Canidae. Yeah. Well, don't worry. We'll get to you guys, the red fox, eventually. So nutria are basically this really invasive species, that is like it. It's sort of like a capybara, um, except worse, basically. Um, yeah, they're very invasive. They're destroying like swamps and stuff. They're really not good. So it was a good thing that the red wolf was eating them. But yeah, if you're curious to how many are left, there's only one protected population. I believe it's protected in North Carolina, and there's somewhere between 15 and 23 individuals. And that's not a lot. It's really not a lot. Um, I could be getting this wrong, but there's something called the 5,500 rule, where like basically 50 individuals is the minimum amount to like have somewhat of a decent genetic diversity. 500 is like what you really should have. I mean, even I remember this is really random, but on a podcast I listened to, they were talking about like how how many people would you need to colonize Mars to have enough genetic diversity? And I think that was up in the 70s. So it's really not a lot. Um, and that's what's concerning about them. I mean, like these are protected populations, so they're not being hunted, nothing like that. But that doesn't necessarily mean they'll survive, and it's really sad. It's really sad. Um, yeah. So like I said, they're only in North Carolina. I don't know if there's anywhere you can go see them. I don't think so. Again, it might be in a national park. Not sure. I didn't look that far into it. I do have to flip my page because I know the next wolf you'll be talking about is the eastern wolf. Seagulls, you're gonna steal my stuff, aren't you? Please don't. I do need to chop down a tree and try and get, because I don't think I have, yeah, I don't have my, uh, boat. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Okay. Sorry, piggies. So very sorry. Did you guys hear that they're actually adding like pig and variants and stuff to Minecraft when the was it 1.24, 25, something like that. Um, so I've only gotten 13. Haven't I killed like 20 pigs? No, I think I've killed like 8. Anyways, you better not steal anything from me, you turds. Um, okay, yeah, this is the part where I need said boat. Um, let's see. Can I flip page? Oh, I forgot it does that. Orange maple. Interesting. Okay. Make a crafty table. Make a boat. And while I'm doing this, I'm gonna flip the page. Oh, it's so wet. I hate it. Oh, I'm trying to be gentle. Okay. Okay. Take this. Alright. Yeah, so then I was talking about the eastern wolf. So again, this is smaller than the gray wolf. Um, but it's not a hybrid. Again, this was a very highly debated one. Is it really its own species? Is it just a hybrid? It's not. It's its own species. And so as a food source, they prefer beavers and deer and sometimes moose. And actually, there has been some hybridization, so I'm not denying that. With the reduced numbers, which I was going to get into later, and I still will into a little bit more detail, there has been this hybrid between an Eastern wolf and a gray wolf, and it's sort of this bigger hybrid. And the problem with that is this bigger hybrid is able to go after bigger things like moose and stuff, and is able to hunt the prey better than the Eastern wolf can. And so there's that problem. And so yeah, they prefer mature hardwood forests and near wetlands away from roads, and obviously again they don't like being near people at all. Ooh, so pretty. And obviously they want to be near wetlands because beavers, right? That's where they want to be. Plenty of beavers around to do things. I just realized I should have brought the cage for the wolf. Oof. Okay. That's fine. It's fine. We'll manage. We'll manage. Um, let's just hope we don't find someone any soon, and then we can, go about our business. Let's see, where was I? Yeah, so again, this is another one that's pretty sad. So there's only 450 to 3,193 individuals left. A lot of sources say less than 500, so close to that 450 range. That's the 450 to 3,000 when I gave you was from like a scientifically reviewed paper, so that's might be worth a bit more. Whoa, crazy. That's not as cool as I thought it was originally. Anyways, so yeah, so I mean, there's a bit of uncertainty there. Um, they don't really know for sure. Um, but yeah, and so unlike the gray wolf, they have not been reintroduced to their native range at all. They are in a they are currently in a protected area called Algonquin National Park. It's in Canada. It's near the Great Lakes. Um, yeah, so in Quebec oh my god, I cannot talk. So they're located in Quebec and Ontario, and they used to cover the entire like eastern United States, including up into Canada. And obviously, that's not what's true. I mean, gray wolves too. I mean, they used to cover everything, right? There used to be wolves everywhere. Um, yeah, and so briefly, what I touched on earlier, I actually know a lot about eastern wolves because, well, a lot. I had to do a paper on them for my genetics class, and so that's where we focused on where and hybridization and like the lack of genetic diversity really affects their sort of like social dynamics and things like that. But we will get into the more nitty gritty of that stuff in a little bit. Oh hey, that's a post to show us where villages. Um, so yeah, and the next one we have is the coyote. Now, like I said, same genus. So the genus is Canis. But that does which 900 blocks that way? Did we miss it on the map? Maybe. Okay, well, we'll just go to the 400 one, which is this way. I wanted to head this way anyways, because that's where the spruce forest is. Yeah, I think the problem is, like, a lot of these biomes, they're, like, unique or whatever to biomes of plenty or whatever the mod is, and not just plain old, regular biomes. Anyways, I'm sure we'll find one. So yeah, we'll go on to the coyote. Coyote is not technically a wolf. Coyote is a coyote, but same general thing. Much smaller than your, a wolf. Um, and they're definitely much more of a nuisance, and we'll get into why in a little bit. We were heading this way, right, for the village? I believe so. Um, is that another marsh over there? Oh, hey, village. Perfect. So yeah, so they have like a more like kind of like grizzled like type pelage. Um, man, those guys, these seals are far from the water. I mean, you guys do you. They're so cute. I love them. I can't wait to do an episode about them. I guess they're not too terribly far from the water, but um, so yeah, and they have like a thinner snout compared to a lot of wolves. Um, larger ears comparatively. What is that? Is that a baby? A teacup pig? Oh my god, these are the teeny, teeny, tiny, itty bitty pigs. Oh my god, you made my day. You made my day, little piggy. Um, yeah, so back to the coyote. Yeah, so they produce litters of 4 to 7 pups, live in either pairs or family packs, and they'll eat anything and everything. So fruits, veggies, all of it. Is this 2 villages put together? Because is there usually 2 bells per village? I didn't think so, but again, I'm very out of date with things. So, yeah. Um, what's Dude, you look cool. Oh, it's just a cleric. I was thinking cleric, but we have a brimstone, not a brimstone, a brewing stand. Anything good? Okay, I'm not gonna worried about searching these houses. It's nothing we actually need, so we'll just continue on. I keep drifting that way, but we've been there. I don't need to go there. Um, let's see what else we got. So again, with them being a nuisance, that means they're like a habitat generalist, which means they don't need anything specific. They can sort of manage anywhere and everywhere, and I'm so hope you don't mind villagers, but I'm gonna kill your pigs. Um, they're pretty much everywhere in the U.S. I didn't look to see if they're outside the U.S. They may have been introduced somewhere, but not that I know of. So yeah, they're a terrible nuisance. They're recolonizing like urban and suburban areas, so I'm sure, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you guys have seen a coyote or at least heard of a coyote like in the area before. Don't approach them, please. They're obviously, they're wild animals. They may not be as scary in your mind as a wolf. Oh, what? Oh, wait. Dude, have you shipwrecked? Oh, okay. I guess I'll take this. Do we need moss? I don't know. But hey, there's that coal. I'm not gonna take that. Hey, dude, good luck, I guess. Um, still just looking for a wolfoo. Okay. Ancient Scroll of Reach. Okay. Oh, and again, sort of, again, like the... Should I go over here? That's a thing, isn't it? A pyramid. Guardian Temple. I mean, like, I'm really curious, but, like... Okay, that's a temple. We're leaving. We're leaving. We're leaving. Please don't give me mining fatigue. Please, 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 please. Alright, we're chilling. And then again, skull morphology. 2 upper molars, 3 lower molars, large, narrow rostrum, bite force isn't as strong as a wolf. Diameter of the upper canines is less than 12 millimeters, so again, smaller than the wolf. Oh, I thought that was like a giant, like, cave opening or something. And another interesting thing that they do that actually makes it hard to... What's that? Oh. Okay, I mean, sure. Do I need any of this? I don't know. Okay, cool. Thanks. They do this thing called fission or fusion. So basically, if you start hunting them in numbers, they'll have babies. It's sort of like cutting off the head of a hydra, right? If you kill one, 2 more spawn. And that's basically what they do. So it makes it very hard to manage them. And the problem is with the lack of having like these upper predators like wolves and stuff who kind of keep these guys in check, right? Because, they're above them on the food chain. You know, wolves will outcompete a bajillion. I heard a rustle. A bajillion coyotes, you know? And those are all gone, so coyotes were able to basically flourish, and now they're everywhere, right? They're caused a problem. They're a problem to pets, problem to livestock and stuff. And I'm obviously not saying please go out and kill all the coyotes. That's not what I'm saying at all. Um, I think coyotes are cool, but at the same time, like I said, they are a nuisance. Their abundance should not be what it is. And like I said, they're generous, and so that means they're able to wander around our cities and our towns willy-nilly because they're not scared. They'll eat trash. It makes them generalists are the worst. They're very very highly adaptable. I mean, wolves in general, the whole canidae sort of family, they're very adaptable. Um, but yeah, so that does it for the coyotes. That does it for like our main species. And a coyote isn't a wolf species. A coyote is a coyote. But I still want to throw it in there because there is talk of hybridization between wolves and coyotes and things of that nature. So it's just something I wanted to go over and throw in there. And I don't think there are coyotes in this mod pack, and I looked, so it's like it's not really like we could do anything like specific to them. So I was like, let me just throw them in there with the wolves. And that's what I did. And so now we'll start talking about some of the issues that wolves bring. Um, or not really the issues the wolves themselves bring, but more so the issues of conservation about wolves. Like what makes it hard to conserve them, what are the problems, how do we conserve them, that type of thing. I just need to flip my page, so I'm gonna do that real fast. Yeah. So, I mean, the sort of the top level thing and one of the bigger things to consider is carnivores need a lot of space, right? Oh hey, go, Cryertron. Carnivores need a lot of space, and that's because they have larger home ranges, so that just means that basically their territory, the area that they live, that's bigger than a bunny, right? Um, and so the larger you are, the more space you typically need, right? Alright, we gotta be able to find a wolf up here. Right? This is like prime. Oh, I guess it's Jade Cliffs. I mean, I feel like we've seen them though. Like different colored ones. I feel like like specifically remember remarking about it. Like, oh, we can get a different colored wolf at some point. Or something of that nature. But maybe that's all in my head. Very well could be. So, anyways, yeah, carnivores need a lot of space, so it could become one because they're just bigger, and that means they have bigger places they need to live. And the other thing is, so they're at the top of the food chain, right? They eat a lot of other things, and once you get up to that level, like if you're imagining a pyramid, right? Some of you may have already heard of this, but I'm gonna sort of explain it for maybe those who haven't. When you have a food chain, and this is all very descriptive, obviously, if I had like graphs and stuff to, throw up, I mean, I could, but that's not exactly super entertaining. I don't know if running around looking for a wolf is super entertaining, but I'm having a grand old time talking about it, so that's what we're doing. Even just a regular forest would be fine, but we keep finding these. Oh, hey, another waystone. Keep finding these random biomes. Um, Yeah, so anyways, back to the pyramid. So if you have the pyramid, you have your primary producers at the bottom, which is like your grass, your trees, your plants, and they produce energy for the whole ecosystem through the sun, right? The sun gives them all the energy they need, and they produce the food. And then it goes to the bunnies, for example, right? The bunnies eat that, the bunnies eat all the grass, and so they get the second most. Oh, I thought that was a wolf for a second. Darn. Okay, okay. Dark oak wood forest. Okay. Let me just check. What's that? Oh, hey, a normal sized bunny. That's the first time we've seen a normal sized bunny, isn't it? I think it is. Uh, where are we at? Where are we at? Okay. I want to continue through the forest, I think. I know we're wrapping back around, but that's okay. Um, so anyways, the rabbits, they eat that, so they get the second most energy level, but they still lose, they only get 10% of that energy that's produced, right? Um, you cannot transfer, and I know there's laws of thermodynamics that go into this, but I'm not a physicist. I know very, 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 very little. Very, I want to, that's, you know, uh, very little. Um, so they only get 10% of that energy, right? And then the next level up, they get even less. So, like, say you have a coyote, they only get 10% of the bunny's energy, right? And then say you have a wolf. So they only get 10% of that energy, assuming they're killing the coyote, and that's not always the case. Sometimes they're only killing the rabbits, right? Or the deer. And again, they're only getting 10% of that 10% that was already taken. So it's very little energy comparatively. And that's what's the problem is they need. Oh, I was like, that skunk. All right, this is prime forest. What is that? A sugar glider. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love you so much. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to do an episode about you. Anyways, so yeah, so at most, they're getting 10% of 10%, which is 1% of the total energy produced by grass and trees and things of that nature. So it's not a lot, right? That means they just need to eat a lot, comparatively, right? So they need to eat a lot of meat. And granted, you're not taking one little bite. If you take down a deer, you're taking down a deer. You're going to eat the deer and all of the deer. But if you're sharing, you have to consider that. So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. They're just not getting a lot of energy. So they need bigger ranges to search for food, basically. Um, and, people, we really like our space too. We really like to come in and take it for us. And I mean, that's sort of what happened. All right, this is prime habitat for wolves. They gotta be around here somewhere. I'm convinced. We just gotta keep a lookout. Um, Hope for the best. That's not a village, is it? No. No village. Okay. I'm gonna give it a minute. Just to... Maybe things need to spawn in. Maybe I'm moving too fast. Eat some food. Well, we're out of food, so now I need to dig and make a furnace. Okay, nice, 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 nice. Don't need copper, I'm good. 5, 7, 8. Nice. Okay. Let's see. Put that there. Doo -doo 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 -doo. Alright, cool. A decent amount of food. Not bad, not bad. So yeah, I guess while we're sitting here waiting for this and keeping a lookout for any wolves that may be running around. Any, like, villages or anything. How far are we from? Okay, maybe we'll connect around eventually. Who knows? Um, so yeah. So that's one thing. And then there's another thing called the mesocarnivore release hypothesis. And I know that sounds a little bit complicated. So basically, this is a type of trophic cascade. And if you don't know what a trophic cascade is, it's basically if something happens at the top of the food chain, it trickles down to everything else, right? And so that's sort of what this mesocarnivore release is. Mesocarnivore is basically just like the middle carnivore. Think about it like that. So this is typically coyotes, raccoons, kind of like the smaller predators of things. And so the removal of a larger carnivore causes an increase in that sort of middle layer carnivore, right? But then that has another effect, right? Those middle carnivores are then eating the smaller prey, right? So they're eating a lot of the bunnies, right? So it, like I said, trickles down, right? And that's not necessarily a great thing. You need this ecosystem. And so there's a really good example with otters and kelp and sea urchins and stuff. But yeah, these are really important. I mean, it's like I was describing with the coyotes. Now that the wolves are gone, they they exploded, right? So now they're eating everything, right? So that's exactly what I was talking about. And so that's a problem for many reasons. You get these nuisance predators that are typically generous who bother us, and really it's really our fault in the first place that it happened, you know? Um but yeah, another thing, again, this is all conservation implications, so things we have to think about when we're trying to conserve species, conserve the wolves, is hybridization and lack of genetic diversity. So I touched on that with the eastern wolves, but it happens with the other wolves too. If you don't have a lot of them, then they're just going to breed with coyotes, right? They're going to breed with coyotes, they're going to breed with wolves because they don't know any better. They don't know. They're like, "Oh, hey, you kind of look you're looking good over there. I don't have anyone else to do it with, so might as well." Um and then you get these weird sort of subspecies slash hybrids because a hybrid isn't necessarily a subspecies, but if it's around long enough, then maybe it becomes a subspecies. Who knows? So you get a lot of problems like that. And as I mentioned with the eastern wolves, it has a severe effect on their social dynamics. And remember how I mentioned with the gray wolves, and this sort of trickles down to all wolf species, they have these really complex packs, right? These social family groups. It's really important. And what they saw happening, so this was all, oh, hey, awesome, didn't see you before. Well, I read this paper, and, oh, baby wolf? Okay, we did it, guys. Woof woof. Oh, I love their tails. It's so bushy now. Is this your baby? I can't leave you. Oh my god, you laid out. Oh my god. Oh my god, look at you. You were just the cutest little thing there ever is. Oh my god. Oh my god, I love you. I love you so much. Okay. Where baby? I'm not gonna worry. I'm not gonna let leave your baby behind. I ain't cruel. I was gonna plan on getting two wolves, but hey, two is better than one. Hey, little guy. Oh, you hungry? Oh, look at you. Oh my goodness. Here, come here. Where's your mom? Where's your mama? Mama, what you doing? Get over here. Wait, that's not mama. Oh, there you guys are. Come here. Come here, guys. Come here. Let's get a family photo. Come on. No, mama, come here. We have to give these guys names. Okay. Okay, you sit. You sit. That's not what I want. Okay. Getting a fan. This is gonna be a great thumbnail. Come here. Come on, poppers. Good girl. Alright. Let me push you close together. Oh my goodness, look at you guys. Oh, I love you so much. You guys are so wonderful. Okay, now let's go back to that waste zone, which is luckily right here. I knew it. I knew the spruce forest was gonna have them. I just knew it. I'm gonna break these because I don't want my poor puppers stepping on these and getting hurt because they're annoying and stupid. Okay, I'm gonna go back home and try and get my the cage that we put the puppers. Come on, come on. Ah, no, 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 no. Okay. So yeah, so let's go home. Let's get that cage. What was I talking about? Yes, hybridization. So with these social packs and the social dynamics, is they found that a lot of packs were basically adopting outside wolf species. And you may think initially that's not initially bad, but again, these are really complex systems. And it throws off the whole balance of things, right? And with these species, and actually what Canada did, this is a threatened and endangered species in Canada. Um, they basically, you are no longer allowed to hunt these species. And I will mention gray wolves. They're fine in Canada, Alaska. So up north, very up north, they're fine. It's just in the U.S. we sort of killed them, and they're definitely, as far as I know, you can still hunt and kill gray wolves in Canada and Alaska. I could be mistaken. But yeah, so the eastern wolves though, you cannot kill or hunt them anymore, which I think is a good thing. Obviously, since their numbers are so low and they're having so many issues. And they found that with that, the packs were no longer adopting like random individuals, right? The genetics of the wolf packs after this went into effect they found that, where's my food? I'm not paying, it's very hard to talk and pay attention at the same time. Okay. Um, let's see. Is there anything I can like cook up? I don't know. I should start a farm is what I should do. But where does I guess that goes and put that there? Maybe? Ores and then and I swear we're gonna have a roof eventually. Eventually. Maybe. Building items. I know we have to go get our puppers, but I want to just empty out a little bit. Mob drops. Yeah, so when this legislation went into place where you can no longer hunt and kill these guys, oh no, they found that the genetics of these species, they found that they were more related. The packs were more related to each other, which is what it should be, right? These packs, there's, like I said, there's all sorts of like stability that goes into place, and like, you can, you know, from a behavioral and sort of hormonal level, you can like mitigate how many are breeding and things of that nature. So again, really important. I cannot emphasize how important these, they're not just a family. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a ranking system. So it's very important that these individuals are able to hold that sort of complex dynamic. We don't want to lose that. And um so yeah, so that's what they found. And that's really important. And similarly, what we need to do is their habitats being destroyed. This is across all mammals, or not just mammals, but all animals. I even think I mentioned this in the cats episode. Was it B. Creston? I think it was. Can I? Can only capture small animals. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. How far is that? I mean, it's doable. It's definitely doable. I'm just really hope there's something else I can do. Hmm. Um, Let me do a bit of research before I go and try and trek these guys all the way home. So I was able to find that in sub mod packs, you can use a boat and go through a waystone. Luckily, we're really close to one. So we can try this out. But, okay, we're chilling. Let's see if this works. Stay here, puppers, okay? Ooh, it does not work. Alright. Well, unfortunately, we'll just have to take him on home then. Yeah. Okay, well, the only thing I could find is you could use, like, vines and leads and stuff, but let me get leads just in case. I will actually, you know what, let me try. Let me just see what happens. Like, will these guys teleport to me? I don't think they will because we tried with the cats and that didn't really work out. I think when we use the waystone, we go too far out of distance. So, yeah, okay. Well, let me go get some leads just in case. And that'll give us more time to talk about the things I want to talk about. So yeah, I think I was saying as before, like habitat's really important, and the number one decline in species is still the like deforestation and losing habitat. And so this is happening for them too, and especially with, you know, these wolves. Like I said, they have really big ranges. Alright, come on. Hope we don't grow up before we get home. Alright, come on guys. Alright, we can just sort of head straight down, right? Yep, pretty much. Alright. Come on guys. Um, habitat fragmentation. Come on, you can do it. Alright, this is gonna be a bit tedious, but it's okay. We'll manage. Please don't hurt yourselves on those. Really appreciate it. We need to name these guys too, so, let me know if you have any good names. I wasn't expecting to get two. I might name one of them Cleo, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Ow. And I know they'll teleport to me. Let me take the leads off for now, so that way they can just teleport to me freely. I'm just worried about transporting them in boat. Sometimes using a lead is better for that. We'll see if we have to cross any oceans. But yeah, so anyways, habitat. I have a lot of trouble staying on focus. Apologies. Um, so yeah, when you have we have both of them. One, two, yes. Habitat fragmentation is basically when you have viable habitat, but it's broken up by roads or, towns or anything else. And so we need that connected habitat. We need large scale habitat for these wolves. They build their dens and their nests, in these hardwood forests, but if they don't have a lot of places to go, that makes it difficult for them. That's also something we have to consider. There's a lot to consider when it comes to conservation. And another big thing, which is why some people may not be the biggest fan of wolves and like reintroducing them and bringing them back, is they do have conflict with humans, right? I mean, you think about livestock, right? No one wants their livelihood, going down the drain. But usually, like large scale, they have very little effect. If they're only eating, oh hey, there's a village over here. If they're only eating one cow, it's not the end of the world. And obviously, I'm not a farmer, so I can't like tell you how that feels necessarily, but I can empathize. It sucks. It sucks for sure. I'm not denying that. And I know there's a lot of laws and regulations now where unless it's for self-defense, you can't kill wolves. At least I think that's because they are still endangered under the Endangered Species Act in the US. So that definitely sucks. I'm not denying that. Eating your chickens and your pigs, it sucks. Oh, puppers, I love you so much. Um, but then, they also like if they're eating all the deer, then you can't hunt the deer, right? And that's kind of a bummer, right? If I mean some people are really into hunting, and if you accidentally shoot a wolf, like that could be in a lot of trouble, right? It was totally not worth it to go get that, but it's fine. We have it there now. Um, so like that sucks. And then obviously like they can even like eat our pets. Actually when I wrote this down, all I could think about was I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's basically like a Florida Man type deal where this older guy goes and his dog gets eaten by a crocodile, so he wrestles the crocodile out of the water with like a cigarette in his mouth. And he pulls it out so nonchalant, and it's just a small dog. I don't know if it was a Chihuahua or a Shih Tzu or whatever it was, but I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, even coyotes have been known to like hurt pets. Is this another village? Huh, that's very close to the other. Um, so they can do that, and they're scary. I mean, they're intimidating. Like, I mean, I'd be scared of like a coyote, right? And they're not even close to the size of like a wolf. And like I live on the East Coast, so we don't have wolves here. Not anymore, anyways. And you know, I can't imagine living in the Yellowstone area, like Minnesota, Idaho, sort of like the western area, and just guys. Okay, one, two. Okay, just making sure, just making sure. And what if you run into a wolf while you're hiking or something like that's definitely scary. Um, so I definitely empathize. Like obviously, all this stuff is, you know, it's stuff to consider. And again, this is what makes conservation difficult. You can't just be like, okay, we'll protect this species, no hunting, killing it, no thank you, okay, bye-bye. Um, and yeah, because there's just a lot that goes into it. Unfortunately, people are here. Is there not a waste down here? Am I just being blind? Um, yeah, I mean we're here too, and we have big brains, so we feel like we have everything. We have say on everything that happens in the natural world because that's just sort of what we do. And I say we in the greater context. Obviously, like here I am sitting trying to help conserve and like get the word out about these things. I'm not necessarily the problem. I don't hunt wolves. I wasn't around a few hundred years ago when the settlers first got here. But still, we as a human race, we can definitely do better. I can definitely do better. I'm not perfect. I mean, there's plenty of things like, if people ate less meat, just in general, that doesn't mean go vegetarian, but even just eat less meat, that makes a difference. Do I do that? No. No, I've actually been trying to eat more protein and more meat lately because I've been going to the gym so much and doing all that. So, like, there's definitely things I could do better, right? I'm not perfect. No one is, but it's just about trying, right? Just trying to make those little steps and trying to. You guys chilling? You coming? Oh, I love the little wiggle waggles. And it's just about trying to do better. Even if it's minuscule, even if you think recycling, your Coke can isn't going to do anything, well, that's better than not doing anything, right? Even if it's minuscule, well, that it can also make it minusculely worse, right? So I just think it's important to think of things like that. Why is there a circle on the map? Is it a hobbit hole? It's funny, I've read the Lord of the Rings books, but I haven't seen the movie. It is a hobbit hole! Oh, it's a. Oh, okay. Infinity? Dude! I. I. Okay. Awesome. I'll take that. That was a nice little find. Hmm. The wolves could sniff it out. They knew, even though they're probably miles and miles away. Okay, we're making decent progress. We're making decent progress. Where's your mama? There you are. Okay. Um, so yeah. Anyways, obviously it's hard. They're scary. They're predators. But they're not out to get us. They're just trying to live, and I think they have the right to do that, just as we do. And then so this is where I'm gonna talk about Yellowstone, right? I have to talk about Yellowstone. For those of you that may not know, which I'd be very surprised if you didn't know, but maybe if you're not, native to the U.S. or been to the U.S., Yellowstone is the biggest or one of the biggest national parks, and so that's where they did a wolf reintroduction. I don't remember exactly when they did it. I didn't look that up, but it's been going on a decent amount of time now, and it's been successful, right? They reintroduced wolves to Yellowstone. It's been great. They've been doing great. They've actually started to spread out on their own now, which that actually makes me like super duper happy when I was reading it. It's funny. I applied to a job, which I don't think I'll get it, but it was called the California Wolf Project, because the wolves have. Oh, there's a village over there. Have naturally come back to. Am I gonna worry about it? I guess I'll go get it. Um, they've started to naturally recolonize some of the surrounding areas, so like Oregon, California, those areas. Um, which is it's very, very cool. What is that? Splash tail. Um, which is very neat. Where wolves? Wolfies. I don't see them. Okay, they're over there. Swimming. Swimming. Um, yeah, see, this is what I'm worried about. I don't think they'll be able to swim very well. Maybe try putting the leads on them. Um, but yeah, so like I was saying, they used to be everywhere, right? They used to be all over the U.S., along with the other wolf species. Maybe not as widespread as the gray wolf, because the gray wolf was definitely the most common one. Um, but yeah, and so basically what happened and what led to their demise is Europeans came here, right? And this isn't a call out to Europeans. I mean, those are my ancestors, you know. Um, Granted, that was, so they came here, they discovered things, and they're like, okay, well, let me just start killing them. And that's what they did, basically. They just started killing all the wolves, and they did in less than 100 years. Um, so that's, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, hey, we're effective, I guess. And so they were hunting, they were trapping, they were poisoning. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. Um, and that led to the problems we see today where there aren't wolves. They're gone like almost everywhere, right? Um, so yeah, and so I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard this. So they were reintroduced to Yellowstone. Unfortunately, they're still endangered, but they are making a lot of progress, and it's awesome. Um, I think it's some of the surrounding states. I want to say it was Minnesota, if I'm being honest. I don't know why. I could be mistaken. That they may not be because they're not technically like that's none of the grounds of Yellowstone. I'm trying to get up there to try and find the Waystone. Um, Let me just take my leads back. Oh, I lost one already. Um, Lead? Where did you go? Ow. Don't see it. Maybe over here? There it is. Yep. Okay. I just want to get that in case we have to cross an ocean or something. So, yeah. They used to be everywhere, face a lot of problems. Still endangered though, but they're making their progress. I actually found out when I was researching some of this stuff. They they actually have a nationwide plan scheduled to come out in December for like a plan for the gray wolf, which I think is interesting. Um, I wonder what that'll entail. Like, are they gonna try and reintroduce it into other parts of the U.S., which I think would be absolutely awesome. Um, like, I mean, it would be absolutely incredible. I mean, I don't know if people know this, but there used to be bison on the East Coast too. We don't have those anymore either. That's more like a Midwest thing. So, I don't know. It would just be so cool because we recently by recently, within the past few years, we have elk back in Virginia. There's a protected population. Um, and so we're making progress. We really are making a lot of progress, which I think is awesome. A lot of it's doom and gloom, you know, but there's good things too. There are good things too. But yeah, so I don't know if you guys have heard, but basically there was a saying that was going around or goes around, I don't know, about how wolves change the bend of rivers. They change how rivers flow. And that's true to some degree. So basically what happened when wolves were reintroduced, I think it was then like the later 1900s, I want to say like 1970s, 80s, somewhere around there. And they did find that it did happen. So they changed the way the rivers flow. They changed the bends, the curves of the river, but it wasn't. They helped, I should say. A lot of stuff happened when they first reintroduced the wolves into um, Yellowstone. They reintroduced beavers, grizzly bear populations came back, and there was the start of a 30-year drought. And so basically, part of the reason why they reintroduced wolves into Yellowstone was because the elk were just completely out of control, right? They were destroying everything. I mean, with no giant natural predators, I mean, there was nothing to stop them, right? I mean, they were hunting and they were trapping the moose and stuff, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Um, and so they would, it affected the water quality. Um, and, they were destroying like I'm drawing a blank, but I think it was, hey, wolf, aspen trees. I think were a big source of food for them, and they were devouring those. Oh, puppers grew up. I don't know which one was puppers and which one was mom. Well, huh? I should have changed the coloring. Oh well. Anyways, I was afraid that was gonna happen, but it's okay. Um, So yeah, the elk were destroying the environment, destroying the this habitat of this great national park, and they were like, okay, well humans aren't enough. We just can't kill that many. It's not happening. It's just we just can't do it. So they're like, well, let's reintroduce the wolves, right? Let's bring them back. They should be here anyways. Where am I? Oh, farther down. Here? Okay, yeah. We're making good progress. Good progress. And so that's what they did. They reintroduced the roles, but at the time, so grizzly bear populations were also down at the time. For similar reasons, hunting, killing, that sort of thing. Beavers, they were almost completely extirpated from the US too, which was another problem. They have luckily also been reintroduced. Um, but so beavers were reintroduced to Yellowstone at the same time. There was actually the start of a 30-year drought at that time too, and you may think, well, how was that helpful? And then grizzly bear populations came back. So all that had a giant effect, right? And the elk populations declined drastically after that. And you may think, oh, well, that's really sad. What about the elk? Well, yeah, but they were also destroying the environment, right? That's not how that ecosystem is supposed to function. It's important to look at sort of while like the individual aspects are really important too, definitely not denying that, you have to look at the bigger picture too. What is it supposed to be? And you're supposed to have wolves and grizzly bears and beavers. And Yellowstone didn't have any of that. Most of the US didn't have that or still doesn't have that, right? So with the elk populations down, the river sort of like went back to normal. I don't know the name of the river that goes through Yellowstone, but with the 30-year drought, and obviously this took decades, they did see changes in the bends of the river, which I do think is really cool. But was it the wolves? No, not by themselves. They definitely played a part, but it wasn't just them. Like the beavers, with their damming, because they do dam, they build dams, they influence like the water table. I just wanted to see what this building was. It looked rather interesting. And I don't think it's anything, so that's kind of lame. Oh, there's a chest over there, though. Okay, bones, seeds. I guess I'll take the string. I don't know, sure. Um, so yeah, and the grizzly bears, they were eating more of the elk along with the wolves, and the drought obviously made it more difficult for the elk too. So yeah, it had all these sort of crazy effects. Where's home? There it is. Oh, only 1,000 blocks away. We're making progress. Honestly, it wasn't that bad because I'm just sitting here rambling about wolves, and I think wolves are really cool. So yeah, I think that's everything. It's like I said, it's always, and what I will probably continue to say is there's never an easy answer to all of this, you know, but I don't know. I think we're making progress. A lot of it is doom and gloom, and a lot of it is really sad. I mean, you see species going extinct, but then you also see, I mean, like I think bald eagles are the one that come to mind. That was very successful. They with DDT, which was basically a toxin, um, that destroyed bald eagle populations because it got in the fish and then it got in and then the eggs weren't able to develop. It was the whole thing. I think there are bald eagles in this mod pack, so that's what we'll do. That's America's bird or whatever. And I will say they typically on TV shows they do lie about what the bald eagle sounds like. They make it sound like this really cool screech, which is usually a red-tailed hawk. And I think I've said this before. But the bald eagle kind of just like chirps, kind of sounds like a baby. Anyways, um, yep, you guys are doing good. I said a lot too. I need to stop that. And so, yeah, I know a lot of people, a lot of private landowners and stuff have problems with the wolf reintroduction. Like, well, what about my livestock? And I'm like, well, it's not just one or the other, there is a way to coexist, and it's difficult, but you also have to think, you know, it's let's say this. It's one thing to kill a wolf that you see eating your cow, right? But you can't go out and hunt the wolves until extinction because that's exactly what we did. And that's not fair to them, right? They're just trying to live, right? They're just living their lives. They don't know any better. Like, they're like, "Oh, hey, free food source." Right? And obviously you can't tell the farmers to stop farming. You can't tell them like, "Oh, yeah, sorry, I can't farm here." Like, well, the wolves, again, if wolves were everywhere, you can't have livestock anywhere. So it's definitely complicated, and I don't have the answers, but I'm just trying to give you guys some good information, just like I did with the cats. Keep your cats indoors, for their safety, for the environment, for a little bit of everything. And I'm not trying to tell anyone what to do. I haven't told you to do anything in this episode, actually. I was just talking about wolves because I think wolves are really cool. And Yellowstone is a great example of something that is effective, right? Reintroductions, if you do it the right way. I mean, Yellowstone is. I wish I could go to Yellowstone to see a wolf. That'd be so freaking cool. I want to go to Yellowstone so bad. But yeah, I mean, like I said, yeah. So there's a nationwide gray wolf recovery plan that should go into effect in December of this year, which I just think that's so cool. That's awesome. That shows like some real progress, with the environment and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. It's just so cool. I love this stuff. Legislation and stuff, it's sort of goes over my head a little bit with the, you know, environmental not environmental endangered species act, and like there's some caveats in there, like it's not as easy as it seems. I've taken a policy class, and like some of it I'm just like reading like the the Supreme Court cases, I'm like, oh, so bogged down. They need to like a there obviously is a simplified version if you go to like Wikipedia or something, but yeah, no, I mean they're so cool. And I mean if you I don't know, some dogs they're pretty wolf-like. I mean I think of mainly like huskies. I think they're probably the most wolf-like. Again, they're not wolves though, making that very clear. Wolves and dogs are very different. Dogs have undergone years and years of artificial selection, and I don't know, it's actually debated if it's artificial selection or co-evolution, but that's not important. Come on, puppers! Oh yeah, I hope you guys get along. Meet our new family members. We still need names. Come on, guys. Okay. You guys want to sit there? Oh, I fed you. I fed you. Did I feed you? Come on. Oh god, I love how they sit. Oh my god, that makes my day. They're so freaking cute. Here, hold on. Let me scoot you guys all the way so I can get a good look at these guys. We still need to get name tags. Huh. Oh, I love them so much. Oh my god, they're just so freaking cute. Look at them. Okay. Well, yeah, okay. What I want you guys to do though is in the comments below leave a name and then choose one or I guess both that kind of like the names that go with like a collar color so that way we can differentiate them because I really wish I knew which one was the baby, and I don't know, this one's slightly darker so I'm thinking this is the baby but I don't actually know. So yeah, so I guess that was my little spiel. There was a lot of travel, a lot of going, around, but we actually I think we made pretty good time, especially for all the stops I made along the way, going to the villages and whatnot. But yeah, no, I love talking about this stuff. I think it's, really important. And again, this is what I wanted the channel to be about, is talking about this stuff. And I know I've gotten a little bit off key. I mean, hey, Long Dark has wolves in it, and I do appreciate, remember the first episode that I did about how, you know, making sure they're depicting like obviously don't take it for real, like this isn't like a wild and survivalist course or whatever, or please don't try and replicate this, and wolves don't actually attack people in real life. I do really appreciate that statement because there are, like if you have like when I know when like 101 Dalmatians came out, my mom told me that like everyone went out and got a Dalmatian and then the shelters were flooded with Dalmatians because they didn't want them anymore. So like yeah. So yeah, I mean I guess that's all I have to say. And if you guys have any information about wolves that you want to share, please do. Happy to hear more. And it's getting nighttime. But yeah, I don't know what animal we'll do next. I'm thinking maybe fox. I don't know. I might also just do like an in-between episode where we like actually like build a roof. I want my puppies to be happy. I always forget the ladders here, not over there. But yeah, this is our little family. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. Yeah, and like I was saying, let me know if you have any cool fun facts about wolves or their history or how they've been doing or anything like that. I find that stuff super interesting. Share pictures too. Love pictures. But yeah, I think I did a pretty decent job of covering everything. Yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with it. So, yeah, I think that's where I'm going to call it today. And ooh, still happy I changed my cape. I have oh my god, I cannot talk today. But yeah, changed my cape. Oh, that was my desk. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If there's any species you want to see next, leave a comment down below. And like I said, help me name my new puppers and give them a new collar color. And yeah, I guess I will see you guys next time. Bye.